The purpose of all political action should be the protection and the saving of liberty. It should be geared to individual liberty. Believing strongly that if we have individual liberty and we don't have the heavy hand of government, then what we can do in our personal lives, we can strive for virtue and excellence. That should be our personal goal. That's what my belief is anyway. But that is better done in a free society. A free society is much more creative than a society that is where you just barely survive for economic reasons. Then you have the heavy hand of government over your shoulder and arresting you and taking a picture of everything you do endlessly. Now, that isn't the way. The way we have to do is release this creative energy, and when we come together, we ought to have a good time doing it because of like-minded people. But on this issue of the government surveillance of us, I am sure every one of you are aware of the fact of how many cameras we have now and how intrusive this war of drugs has been. Because right now, we're spending about over $100 billion a year on the war on drugs. We've spent $900 billion over the last 20 years. It's a huge sum of money. Last year, there were 1.7 million arrests of people who were just holding substances, no violence whatsoever. So a good line to draw, if you think you're spending too much money with too many people in prisons, maybe we ought to come up with some creative ideas about how to handle people who've never created a violent act. Then I think maybe we could get to the bottom of this over-intrusiveness of knowing every single thing we do. Sometimes I believe that the drug war is associated with the war on the taxpayers because they want to know what you're doing endlessly and where you're spending your money. But the principles of liberty would remove all that. And the main problem with a government that's authoritarian is they may be well motivated, and there are. We know people in Washington, they're liberals and they're bleeding hearts, but even if you give them a little leeway, the one thing is they do not know what is best for you. They do not know. They might assume. Us are human and all of us makes mistakes, so if you depend on me to make decisions for you, I'm going to inevitably make a mistake, and I don't want to do that. You get to make your own mistakes and be responsible for it. One interesting thing about liberty, if you have a truly free society, that you would be very tolerant of other people, whether it's their lifestyles or whatever they do, because if they don't hurt you, just leave them alone. And that, even in an economic sense, it's okay. So if we have a free society and a group of people want to get together and they want to have a socialist community and share the wealth and work together and have joint ownership of property, let them do it. It's all up to them. But it's amazing, once it becomes a welfare society, a socialist society, you just try to have your own libertarian society over here and take care of yourself. They won't have any part of it because they need you and they need your money and they need your energy and wealth. Which means that it doesn't work for very long. It can work until we consume our wealth, and that is what we have done. We have consumed our wealth. We've known this was coming for many decades because we were living on borrowed money, and it was doomed to fail, and it still is working a little bit because there's still trust, but the trust is about gone, the credibility of government is gone. But it offers us a tremendous opportunity to stand up and know what liberty means, and know that liberty is one unit. You don't have personal, religious, and social liberty over here and economic liberty over here. You have to put them together because the right to your life means you have the right to your personal values and your money. First, thank you very much for having me here. Thank you very much for the enthusiasm and the encouragement that you have given me. But believe me, the fight is early. We have a long way to go. We are making progress, and we do not know what tomorrow will bring. Tomorrow, events will change rather rapidly. Just think, although we were able to anticipate the financial crisis, boom, it just popped right up. Something on a financial arena or in the military arena can pop up tomorrow or the next day or a month from now or a year from now. So the longer time we have, the better. The more we can spread our message and get people to understand what liberty is all about. If we do that, we'll come out just fine. Thank you very much.